What's up, guys? This is my intro for the Princes of the Apocalypse campaign. So, I had started playing Horde of the Dragon Queen online with some friends, and it kind of kept going, and then we eventually rolled that into Rise of Tiamat later on. There'll be other videos for that coming later on. But I had said we were only playing every other week, so I could basically do nothing on the other Monday, but why don't I slot in another campaign to get us through every single pre-written campaign that's out there, right? We've played through pretty much all of them up through, I think, Tomb of Annihilation. We haven't done any of the Waterdeep stuff, but that's coming soon. So I said, well, we didn't do Princes of the Apocalypse, or I had started, but it never finished. So I grabbed some friends that I all have known or played with online. Bucky from Taking Initiative, Brittany from the Venture Maidens, Chelsea, aka Little Red Dot from North by Northwest, and a million other things, and Davis from Dank Dungeons. And I said, let's all get together and play a game. We'll start at level 1, and we'll kind of roll through. I think actually we said we'd start at level 3, but we'd talk through kind of session 0, levels 1 and 2, and we'd basically roll into the campaign and give Princess of the Apocalypse a shot. So that's what this campaign is. However, ours is a little bit unique in that the players really they go in all sorts of crazy tangents. They do things that are very questionable alignment and paladin wise, from things to developing a brand new dancing group and using that as their cover, to basically one of them ending up becoming Bruce Wayne, Butler included, joining of a thieves guild, breaking down sort of barriers within the Blackstaff Tower of Waterdeep. It gets really crazy, and the players really just take it on a whole nother level. I also feel like in the course of this, I outline a lot of the issues with the Princes of the Apocalypse campaign as it stands, and I kind of talk about it when we do different story beats, because I do feel like it has a lot of potential to really go south pretty quickly if you run it as written, because it's way too sandboxy, and there's really the potential where your players would never want to end up doing any of the things, or they'll go into the final dungeon at level 3. So I kind of go through, and you can see how I sort of tell the story in such a way to not railroad the players, but sort of section off areas that they can't get into through a fun little kind of Legend of Zelda style fetch quest. So if that sounds interesting, I would highly recommend checking this out. And it also is in a shared universe of our Horde of the Dragon Queen and Rise of Tiamat campaign. Some of the characters do have interaction, and there's a couple crossover episodes. So if you like the characters in any of the Belladonnas, there's a couple of appearances here in Princes of the Apocalypse, and vice versa. So, again, hope you like it. Leave comments down below. Let me know what you think. So I realized I didn't tell you about any of the characters in Prince of the Apocalypse. Before I edit the video, I figured I'd give you a quick primer. So we are joined in our cast by Vannon, a wood elf ranger, who through the course of his career decides to test how multi-classing and how many classes one can multi-class into. And aloof hunter ranger with a penchant for animal companions, though things don't normally turn out so well for him. Pretty interesting, played by Davis from Dank Dungeons. We're joined by Ozzy, Ozzy Windmore, who is Bucky from Taking Initiative's character. And Ozzy is a lore wizard, which is the kind of OP wizard that was released in an Unearthed Arcana, that I said, you know what, let's just see how crazy it is. So this is someone who can alter and change the way spells work, tweak the elements that are used, so a fireball could do ice damage or cold damage and things like that. And part of the reason that I did it is because Bucky put in a whole bunch of effort to explain to me how he works with the elements in his character's whole build around this thing called the elemental spectrum that he came up with, and the process behind learning how to tweak and alter the elemental magics. And he hasn't been able to figure out how to alter his magics to do radiant damage, so he's on a quest to figure that out and alter the shaping of arcane magics as we know it, looking to find a master to teach him about radiance and how that works. And in doing so, we're introduced to Lilith, the Azamar Paladin, the Oath of the Crown Paladin, played by Brittany from Venture Maidens. Lilith is a paladin, a member of the Knights of Samalar, a local Sword Coast kind of protector group, and she belongs to, and she follows the god Tyr. So it was all about justice, and she fights with the sword and shield, but she does often stretch the limits of what it is to be a paladin and a good character. Really puts a heavy focus on justice, and I guess it's an interesting endeavor to learn about how one character's perception of what is just and what requires an acting of justice, and how in her brain she rationalizes things. So a weird sort of almost take on a Batman style character. And then lastly, we are joined by Igni, the Drow rogue, played by Chelsea from North by Northwest. And Igni is an interesting character in that she doesn't see herself as an elf or a drow. She sees herself as Igni, the character. She's not beholden to any of those races. She doesn't, she kind of lives on the streets, doesn't know how to read, doesn't really provide too much information about herself, but she loves to dance, cut purses, and also throats. So again, everything I already told you about the campaign, plus these awesome characters, is one reason you should definitely give this campaign a try.